at the bar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to express my excitement at what is going on here today. It's actually overwhelming. I feel overwhelmed. In accepting the challenges to serve, I am also accepting here the nomination with humility to serve. I'm accepting your nomination. For me, is remarkable. It's remarkable for so many reasons. It's remarkable for what you stand for. It's remarkable for the principles that your movement is predicated on.
Sorry, Excellency. Please, can you stand here?
Okay. Those principles that are anchored on competence, capacity, and character. The doctrine of fairness, equity, and justice, which you also have embraced. What you're doing here today is a demonstration of the sustainability of the movement that you have formed. You've shown that this movement is not a movement that is driven by sentimental reasoning. It is a movement that is objective, it's a movement that is rational, and that you're going to seek competence, capacity, and character wherever you're going to find it. And that's what you're doing here today. So the same way you have, as you said in your endorsement speech, that I didn't look for you, but you guys did your research, carried out your exhaustive inquiries, and came to the conclusion that for what Enugu State represents to Ndibo and what Enugu State represents to this country, Enugu State deserves a competent leader. Enugu State deserves a leader with capacity. Enugu State deserves a leader with character. Mine is to inform you, also in accepting this endorsement, that I'm going to serve the people of Enugu State with humility and moderation, with openness and forthrightness, and with simplicity. I will not let you and Ndi Enugu down. We have outlined to Ndi Enugu how we propose to disrupt the status quo. And that disruption is going to see us enhancing our revenue optimally so that we can intervene in all the critical sectors. We know that the current revenue model that focuses largely on a rent-seeking approach, where we go to Abuja at the end of every month to collect the federation account. It's no longer sustainable. We believe that it has served its maximum potential and that it's no longer serving the needs of our people. It's no longer able to optimally intervene in those sectors of our critical needs. So we're going to deploy what we refer to as disruptive innovation. Disruptive because the status quo is going to be disrupted. So it's not like we're going to try to continue to grow our economy marginally or incrementally. We want to launch an exponential growth. And that exponential growth model requires that we think differently. The model we have that obviously suboptimally intervenes in our different sectors will not be able to sustain the sort of growth we have projected. We've projected to grow Enugu State's economy from the current levels of $4.4 billion to $30 billion. We've also proposed to eradicate poverty, to kick poverty out of Enugu State. So we have to achieve a 0% rate in our poverty headcount index. That requires critical intervention across all our productivity sectors.
And above
all, the social services would also not be left behind. Our education, our healthcare services, our water supply resource, our environmental
sanitation. We've done something. What we have proposed to Ndi Enugu
are things that are measurable. Things that we've outlined, measurable indicators. So in the area of water resources, we've said to Ndi Enugu, in 180 days, water will be flowing in all homes in Enugu. We've also said that in 100 days, we will combat the menace of waste and ensure that our cities are clean, and that we treat that with the seriousness and the immediacy that they demand. In 100 days, we will also address the incidents of robbery, kidnapping, and insecurity in general. Ensure that, because you know that our plan is to ensure that Enugu State is the most preferred destination for investment. So we cannot afford to joke with insecurity. We must ensure that we deploy both the kinetic and the non-kinetic means for addressing insecurity. And we have outlined that in our social charter with Ndi Enugu. We also have said to Ndi Enugu that we're going to fix all their roads. In fact, we're going to have 10,000 kilometers of road built over the next 8 years. Now, of course, a lot of people doubted how on earth are you able to achieve that considering the current revenue model. And of course, you wouldn't be surprised, you wouldn't be totally feel that you have doubters and critics and naysayers, because the truth is that our current model, we're not able to sustain that because of we're not able to achieve that because of, again, this model that I have outlined initially. So what we're going to do would see us transforming all our dormant assets into productive assets. Fortunately for us in Enugu, we're blessed with a lot of mineral and energy resources. And those energy resources are ones that we're going to immediately begin to tap into and begin to generate revenue from them. We also want to move the economy of Enugu State from a public sector economy to a private sector driven economy. What that means that we're going to be deliberate. We're going to work with the prospective investors to ensure that we help them de-risk the investment flow. We know that investors and businesses are not Father Christmas. that you have to create the policy and the fiscal environment to attract them. So we're going to engage with these prospective investors. In fact, within 100 days of our taking over, we're going to convoke an investor summit where we're going to begin to engage this investor and to see how we can market Enugu and of course attract the global and the national investors here. We are not going to spend the whole day talking to you about what we have promised in the Enugu. But the interesting thing that I'd like to leave you with is that what we have offered to do in Enugu State is not something that we're saying because it's flowery to say or because it sounds outlandish. We are saying to you that we're going to do for Enugu State what we have done in our private sector business. So the same way we came into the oil and gas sector some 14 years ago, and in our mission and vision statement, we stated we wanted to lead that sector. Of course, we had naysayers, we had doubters, but 14 years after, we're leading the industry, displacing the incumbents. That same disruptive innovation we deployed to lead the industry, to lead the space where we play in the private sector. That's exactly what we want to do here in Enugu State. So we're not promising Ndi Enugu what we have not done before. And I'm glad that the event of a few weeks ago is making sure that we are no longer sitting under the fence and we're not on the sideline. We're taking a proactive approach to leadership. We're now interested in good governance. We're now beginning to recognize that bad governance is responsible for all the socio-economic woes we have in the country, and that with the right set of leaders in power, that our tomorrow will indeed be brought today. And we have somehow also we've started unpacking what that tomorrow represents for our young people. We've told them about the emerging future and how ours would be to lead them to that emerging future, to make sure that we equip them with the skills to embrace the emerging future, to create the opportunity for them to flourish. So we understand where the world is migrating to. The world is migrating to robotics, to artificial intelligence, to virtual reality, to augmented reality, to the Internet of Things. So we know that our young people cannot be left behind, that we must prepare the ground for them to thrive. So, and that's what we mean when we say tomorrow is here. Because the actions we take today, the decision we take in the next 96 hours will define our tomorrow, will define the future that we want to live in. So I'm glad that we have all joined hands on this, to embark on this journey of greatness, this journey of growth, and this journey of development for Enugu State. Thank you very much. Once again, I am honored and humbled by this gesture. Thank you.
Great. Put your hands together.